Chapter 5. Phil's point of view.
I look at Dan weirdly, but he just smiles at me, so I smile back. We continued just looking at each other in a comfortable silence for a few more minutes. I let a really quiet yawn, and Dan looked at me like before once more.
Dan's point of view. His yawn just now was so fucking cute. He is fucking cute. It's like he's fragile and hurt, yet strong and fierce. And very sassy too. He's also like a cute kitten. It's like people have taken advantage of him, played with him and left him broken, but I know he's not all broken. Today he wasn't. But then again, I've only known him for a day. Phil's point of view. Sleepy kitten.
Dan asks as I smile at the cute pet name, nodding timidly.
I should go home.
He trails off. I hurry grab my pen and notebook, scribbling down, "But dinner!" He stares at me, confused, before sitting back down and chuckling. I nod happily, patting his shoulder, and Dan shakes his head.
You're so cute.
Dan mumbles under his breath. I shrug, reacting my arm from his shoulder.
So, when is dinner going to be ready?
He asked politely. I shrug, getting up and leading him downstairs to the kitchen, holding my notepad and pen. My mother had just finished setting the table and looked up shocked. "I was just about getting ready to call you two," she shrieked, chuckling. "Well, food's ready." I take a seat at the table, and Dan sits next to me. My mother left again to get us some glasses, and I sat fiddling with the knives and fork, waiting for her to return. I feel Dan leaning over, whispering against my neck, making me shiver.
Don't do that again, kitten.
He smirks, pulling away and blowing me a friendly kiss. I roll my eyes and smiling to myself, something I'd been doing a lot today, which really's been surprising me. My mother walked back in, winking jokingly at me, which means she probably saw what just happened. When we had finished our meals, my mother turned to me, grinning devilishly. "So, Dan, you've only known each other for a day, and you seem so friendly."
Yeah, I guess.
Dan says quietly. "Do you like Phil?"
Of course I do.
Half an hour later.
Goodbye, Phil. See you at school tomorrow.
Dan smiles cheerily. I grin, writing down a reply. "Goodbye. This was fun," surprisingly. "Also, when you said you liked me, I like you too." Dan stares at me, quickly kissing my cheek before whispering
Bye, kitten.
into my ear before jetting off. I stood there, completely dumbfounded, with one hand over the part of my cheek that he just kissed. Kissed!
Chapter 6. Dan's point of view. I ran home and jumped into my bed. I placed my hand over my chest, smiling at how fast my heart was beating. It was a lot less than when I was with Phil. Suddenly my door creaked open, and in came in my mom, who didn't look very happy. Daniel, where have you been? I made a really good friend called Phil, and had dinner with him and his mom. Maybe I'll introduce you to him. Fine, but next time tell me these things. Why don't you invite Phil for dinner tomorrow? I'll ask. I hesitated. I'm not sure what he'll say, though. Bonjour, Philip, I shouted across the street happily after spotting him and running to him. Phil's point of view.
Dan jetted towards me, and I felt myself instantly smile and blush a little. He breathed heavily, bending over to catch his breath. "Are you okay?" I wrote.
Nah, I think I need to lay off on all the chocolate.
He sighed, standing up fully. I shake my head, writing, "Why? You aren't unfit. You seem healthy." He smirked, shuffling closer to me.
So, does that mean I'm fit?
I shrugged and Dan chuckled. We walked to school, which went by incredibly slow. I began to realize that the classes without Dan were boring because I didn't have anybody to talk to, except for Anna. I continued to stare at the slowly ticking clock, counting the seconds and minutes until the lesson was over. A few whispers and giggles could be heard from behind me, and I sighed, shuffling uncomfortably in my seat, feeling incredibly self-conscious. I wonder if they're talking about me. Of course they were. Look at you. You're a hideous freak of nature that never talks. I have depression. Stop whining, you attention seeker. You deserve this anyway. You deserve to feel pain. You don't deserve happiness. I deserve... What? Loneliness? Yes, you deserve that. Stupidness? To be seen as vile? Disgusting? Yes, you are all of these. I'm worth something. No, Philip, don't kid yourself. You are nothing. I am! Nothing. Disgusting. Useless. Vile. Ugly. Unwanted. Weird. A freak. You're a freak, Philip. You're a freak. You are a freaking freak! I stumbled out of my seat, looking to the teacher plainly. She saw my state and nodded. I ran through the halls and toilets, locking myself in the cubicle. I left my razors at home. I thought I would need them today. I was wrong. I do need them. I need to feel the pain, a sense of relief, and a way out. I needed to run from my thoughts and overpowering thoughts that keep me locked in a cage, never to be free. They tell me bad things. I don't want to believe it, but sometimes I end up believing them. Maybe there's no way to escape that is not think. And by not thinking, I can be living right. No more suffering. But what I'm about the people I love, the people I like. Dan. I look down at my shaking hand, slowly counting to 10 in my head. I scrunch up my hair messily, trudging slightly, just trying to focus on my breath. Suddenly I hear the door burst open, causing me to whimper and bury my head in my hands. Footsteps can be heard from the outside, and I try to shield myself away. I don't want anybody to see me now. I look disgusting. I am disgusting. The shadow of the shoes from across the door is visible. I hold my breath. The footsteps come closer and closer to my cubicle, and I shield away in fear.
To be continued.